Hey, it's Dean. Last time I shared my game with you, that was over 2 weeks ago, there wasn't much in the way of gameplay, and there was a lot of stuff missing from the HUD, and most of the buttons didn't work, if you remember. At the end, I said I wanted to add combat, inventory management, and usage of body parts and blood. While you still can't see your inventory, the game now features both combat and more complex AI. Um, so this is what the game looks like right now um, after 2 weeks of work. Um, there are a lot more creatures on screen, maybe even too many, it might be a bit overwhelming. And I changed the random generation to add more block types, etc. I was gonna probably try to make this video yesterday, but I hadn't I I hadn't changed the random generation at all. I didn't want the game to look exactly the same, so I ended up adding a lot of blocks, a lot of stuff, so the game would look more exciting. We've got much more hills and mountains, and if we scroll up, we can see the terrain type changes with elevation, and yeah, so I've spent a bit more time on this stuff than I needed to. Um, but as you'll notice, your player is the one with the blue shadow. That's how you identify who you are. And I've used this window now to display your character's information. Here we can see your character's name, their current weapons, their offhand weapons they can switch to, and we're going to see the health for each body part. And each body part is at full health right now. And the three bars down here are blood, stamina, and nutrition. And blood is the only one that's currently used. Stamina and nutrition should be implemented later. And you'll notice that other creatures have different colored shadows under them. Creatures with yellow shadows are neutral towards you. They won't attack you. They don't really care. Characters with these reddish shadows are aggressive towards you. They don't like you. And characters with gray shadows haven't seen you yet, and therefore don't have an opinion on you. But creatures don't just have an affinity or hatred for you. They also have attitudes for every other creature around them. So we pass a turn, we can see these guys over here are fighting each other. So the way the affinity system works right now is simply that creatures of different classes will automatically dislike each other, and creatures of the same class will like each other. So we kind of have this whole war going on even without our input. As you can see, these guys are the Vikings, this guy's a cowboy, and he's got this blue effect on him because every attack will apply different status effects. So these Vikings, they attack these big axes, and not only so can these axes damage their armor and body parts, but all attacks will also do status effects, bleed, stun, and the axe has a freeze effect. And so whenever he's hit, it increments that effect, and once that effect goes over the max, he becomes frozen and unable to move. And similarly with stun, if stun goes over the maximum, they'll be completely incapacitated. And bleed, most weapons do also cause bleed, which means every turn their blood will deplete, and once their blood reaches zero, they'll die. Creatures can also die if their head is destroyed. So this guy should actually die next turn, because his head has been destroyed and all of his blood drains when he dies. When creatures die, you can see they drop body parts, and they also drop quite a few different items. As you see, there's bandages, he's got his guns. He also has right here, he's a little TV dinner. There's a bottle. So most of the items they can't use, obviously you can use the items that you have equipped as weapons. But there's a lot of items in the inventory that haven't really been implemented yet, like bandages, which I'd like to implement soon. So every creature is carrying many of these items, like balls and bandages. They just don't have anywhere to use them yet. And the game has both long range and short range fighting. So right now, my character, the barbarian, has 2 flails equipped, which are short range weapons. As you can see, you can do either light or heavy attack, and because he has 2 flails, he can do either light attack or do a double attack. I'm not going to attack this guy right here. Oh, he's out of range, is he? I'll move in a bit closer. And he'll do 2 attacks, 1 with each flail. And as you can see, now that I've attacked him, his attitude has changed. To red, meaning he's an enemy, but also he's got that red circle around his shadow, which means he's currently targeting me. If you didn't notice, this right here is the target window, which gives me information on my enemies. As you can see, you can't see your enemy's nutrition or secondary weapons, because I don't know if that's really your business. It appears that my character has been incapacitated by being stunned. I guess I wasn't paying attention to when that happened. So I have to wait the turn and hope that passes until I can act again. And I'll attack this guy again. And his blood is very low. As you can see, he's going to die because with this amount of bleed effect, he should lose 240 units of blood until the bleed effect runs out. So if I just pass a turn, oh, I guess I'll pass another, he dies of blood loss. And while I have the 2 flails, I also have a shotgun as a secondary weapon. So I click the switch. I'm now using my shotgun. And see, I have 2 different. My light and heavy attacks are now projectile attacks. And I can either do a regular shot or a more precise long-range shot. And the shotgun's special because it fires a spread. Probably goes a bit too far. This highlight right here, when I have an attack, it will show me how much range the attack has. The range is actually not really accurate for projectile attacks because the projectiles can move beyond their range. So I fire that. You can see, based on my accuracy, the gun might tilt a bit. So I'm not necessarily always going to shoot straight, and my accuracy is worsened by how far away my target is. And it looks like I've been stunned again, so I'll have to pass the turn. These guys are all mad at me, so they're going to try to hunt me down and kill me, and I'm probably going to die. But I can... Yep, I died. But right now, there isn't really much in the way of defense, and you can't really stop a bleeding or recover health or blood. I'd like to add that soon so you don't always die so easily, but I don't know, it's pretty brutal. So, but I made it so I can, for testing purposes, I can switch to any character I want so that my character dies, I can keep playing. Obviously, that's really just for testing. Hopefully in the future you'll be able to survive a bit better. Also, there's probably not going to have this many enemies in an area. As you can see, this guy's got the pink shadow. That means he really, really likes me. Green shadow just means he's pretty friendly. I might change the color coding. As for the different classes in the game, these guys right here with the orange hair and the black visors over their head, over their faces, they're the barbarians, and they've always got the flails, and they dress pretty light, run around. These guys just run around in just the bathrobes. They're magicians. They have magic wands and these little knives. Unfortunately, the magic wands haven't really been implemented fully yet as a projectile weapon. So they're kind of pathetic right now because they can only use the knife. I'm going to rotate the camera so I get a better look at... Oof. This guy right here is a scientist. As you can see, scientists, they got the sunglasses. And they have ray guns, which shoot energy. And they actually have a lot of ammo, which is pretty convenient. I'm going to shoot at this guy with my shotgun. As you can see, when the view is rotated, I get some drawing glitches, like the projectiles move kind of weird. I got to work on that. Most stuff draws completely fine when you switch the drawing angle, but certain things glitch out. Oof. I don't know how I got that many attacks. One thing another feature is, I can target a specific body part to attack. Normally, when I attack, the body part it damages is random. I guess I missed, so it's not hitting anything. That looks like it broke his leg. Unfortunately, there's no effect to breaking arms and legs yet, but there will be later on. But when you just attack someone without choosing target, choose a random body part target based on size and health. But you can also choose a specific target. So if I choose to target his head, he'll get killed real fast from a headshot. The way body part targeting actually doesn't really work the same for projectile and melee attacks, so that really still has to be ironed out. And this guy's going to die pretty soon of blood loss, so yep, I'm going to have to switch to someone else. This guy's doing pretty good. Let's switch to him. And as you can see, a lot of people have been killed off. There's a lot of fighting going on. We can see tons of corpses and items strewn about. So it's kind of a brutal world right now. Just people are killing each other just because they're a different class, I guess. It's kind of, I don't know. Let's take a look. Here's another. These guys right here. I'm going to switch to this guy. These guys are cowboys right here. The cowboys always have 2 pistols. And they also carry dynamite and a knife in their other hand. Unfortunately, the dynamite isn't been implemented. And the cowboy carries 2 guns, which means he can, for a heavy attack, he can, for a light attack, he'll just fire his right gun, but for a heavy attack, he'll fire both. Unfortunately, due to a glitch, the AI-controlled characters will only fire their left gun instead of both when performing a heavy attack. So this guy's ran out of ammo on his left gun, which is kind of unfortunate. And while I do have a reload button, I haven't implemented reloading yet, so I'm kind of stuck when you run out of ammo. For some reason, this guy hasn't seen me yet, so I'll shoot him. See what he thinks of me. And dang. Certain classes are a lot more powerful than others. The barbarians are particularly strong. So there's definitely a need for more balance, but I guess I was able to come out on top. I don't know if there's anyone left to kill. Well, there's this guy. There's not really much of a way to progress in the game. It's really just wandering around in this kind of violent random generated world. Unfortunately, enemies can stand on your head sometimes, which can make them hard to target. That guy's he's like floating in the air. And, well, so I can't really select him because the way the mouse works, unfortunately. So that's kind of it for all the features. Wait a minute. Just a minute. Let's switch to one of these Vikings. The Vikings, of course, they have the big ol' axe, but they also have a rifle in their offhand, which means I can switch to that, and that functions pretty similar to any other gun. It's kind of glitched out when firing when the camera's rotated. Should bring it back to north and go out to this magician over here. And there's a lot of performance issues, of course. Particularly drawing the range on projectile attacks will slow the game down. So if I hover over this key, it's going to continually try to draw the range of the attack, which really slows down, but there it goes fine. So I've got a lot of stuff to iron out. But that's kind of it so far. What I really want to add next would be I want the player to be able to use bandages and items in the inventory to be able to cure healing, and I want food nutrition to be used so that your character will slowly heal body parts over time at the expense of nutrition, which can probably be regenerated by eating. So I really just want to make it. There are more ways to survive and defend yourself, or recover health. I also want to fix glitches like this one right here. And that's kind of it. Yeah, I hopefully I'll get to add lots of cool stuff soon. And yep, thanks for watching.